12 hours after the first and only military coup attempt in Kenya, the president's assurance marked perhaps the end of one of the toughest tests of Daniel Arap Moi's presidency.
Mimi nikiwa amiri jeshi la majeshi yetu ya Kenya, nataka niseme kwamba yale yaliyotokea leo asubuhi kwa muda mfupi ililetea wananchi wasiwasi mwingi.
The government overthrow had been planned and executed by the military, but it is also loyalists within the same armed forces that had helped the commander-in-chief then quash that uprising.
We realized the exercise did not start the 1st August. It was far much earlier. But somehow, a lot of the information was taken lightly. Nobody believed that an airman or a junior soldier could do things like that. So things were taken slightly lighter.
While the then Deputy Kenya Army Commander fought off the rebellion within the forces to restore power back to the president, another officer was ensuring that the head of state was secure.
Na nilipojua kwamba ni Air Force, ni kutoa yeye kwa nyumba, kwa sababu Air Force hawangeweza kufika huko kwa magari ama kwa miguu ama kwa njia nyingine japokuwa pengine na ndege. Na Air Force kulikuwa na ndege aina mbili kubwa ya vita, aina ya F5 ambayo ilikuwa na nyuki, na aina ya Strike Master ambaye walikuwa Kisumu. Mmoja alikuwa anafanya kama adui, mwingine alikuwa kama askari wa Kenya. Kwa hivyo wote haikujulikana hali yao, lakini wananyuki tulijua kwamba walikuwa wamesha kamata mateka maofisa ambaye ndio wanarusha ndege kama marubani, walikuwa wameshakamata na kuweka mateka. Pia wale wa Isili walikuwa wameshaweka mateka. Wale wa Kisumu walikuwa na Meja Mutai, na Meja Mutai alikataa.
Retired veteran broadcaster Leonard Mambo Mbotela recalls the 6 a.m. events that shook not just the nation, but the seat of power.
I was really scared. I was scared stiff. Is this the Kiswahili service student? I said, yes. Are you sure? I said, yes. I've worked here. I know it is. So they told me that they are going to read some statement and that they wanted me to read.
Senior Private Hezekiah Ochuka and Sergeant Pancras Oteyo Okumu, officers from the Eastleigh Air Base, stormed the Voice of Kenya radio station in central Nairobi and ordered him to make the announcement that the government had been taken.
Niseme kwamba yale yaliyotokea leo asubuhi.
Shortly after that, the officers involved in the coup poured out into the streets as residents caught up in the coup looked on. Sumbeyo, a retired lieutenant general in the army, knew it was going to be his responsibility to secure the commander-in-chief.
We didn't want to have vehicles that to look, conspicuous, because we didn't know who is who. So I took it was a 3 or 4 Bujo. So I went to the soldiers and I said, if anybody stops us, just clear him. And we went and found him standing in his sitting room.
The coup was strategically planned to coincide with the war games taking place in Lodwar. For the planners, this would be ideal as most of the army units and the senior leadership were away from the city. The task of staging a counter-attack was therefore left to the senior-most officers present at the time. General Mahmoud Mohammed assembled a team of about 30 officers from the 1st Kenya Rifles Battalion and Kahawa Barracks.
So I thought the best way is to die as a man or as a soldier.
So I asked who is in communication with Nanyuki. Does anybody know whether Nanyuki is hostile or not? and they say it is hostile. So I told him, because of the jets that are in Nanyuki, we are likely to be attacked. So let's get out. He says, I'm not getting out. This is my house. And he says, if it is God's appointed time for me to die, then let me die. And let me die in my house.
Mzee Moi was eventually prevailed and was secretly moved from his home in Kabarak, Nakuru County to an unknown location. Initially, Sumbeiwo and his team had planned to take the head of state to a place identified as Small Farm, but this changed as they decided to go for a more secure location.
Mzee wasn't perturbed at all. He seemed to have had some knowledge of it, of the coup.
While that event changed the historical landscape of the country, it also altered Mzee Moi's relationship with the intelligence gathering outfits in the country. While he had in the past trusted them, now he was very careful in his interactions with them.
Although he did not lose his trust in the military, he changed completely in the sense that if you are a politician and you brought him information, I came to know this, instead of sending the person to special branch, he would send him to me. I had then been appointed the director of military intelligence. So I thought this was a major departure completely, because that was not a system.
Sumbeiwo says the president changed his interactions with even the military intelligence unit. While the masterminds of the coup faced their day in court, with Ochuka eventually falling to the hangman's noose, Kenya went into a snap election in 1983. The web of those who would pay for the coup netted civilians, among them Raila Odinga, a university lecturer claimed to have been part of the plot and was charged with treason.
It reached a stage where we got civilians involved, and unfortunately we had already prosecuted the servicemen who had a knowledge of the coup. We did not have enough witnesses. And so that is when General Mlinga asked me to draft a letter to the president seeking for a solution on what to do with this. And the president, I think through his cabinet, decided to detain them.
Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, the country's first vice president, was mentioned several times as having financed the organizers. That coup served to only harden the president's grip on power, but it also gave birth to the stirrings of the second liberation that eventually led to the coming of multi-party politics in Kenya.
When General Mlinga, because I was also very close to General Mlinga, when General Mlinga advised him to revise Section 2A of the Constitution, he agreed. He did not agree the first time, but he agreed to change the Constitution into Section 2A of the Constitution.
Daniel Toroitich Arap Moi's presidency faced opposition even before Mzee Jomo Kenyatta passed on. But while he was yet to get comfortable at the House on the Hill, the attempted coup in '82 changed him as a man and the president, forcing him to have an even firm grip onto power that saw him comfortably occupy State House for 24 years. While the 1982 coup attempt threatened Daniel Toroitich Arap Moi's grip on power, he managed to hang on and lead the country for the next 24 years, living in 2002. But even then, he had changed his outlook on life, but also insisting on the legacy of peace, love and unity. Leila Mohammed, NTV, Nairobi.